What is up, my friends? Chuck here, back at it again with the LED videos. Today we're going to be working on the STI. Hopefully you enjoyed the LED fog light upgrade on the Forester XT. Today we're going to be doing a fog light upgrade on the STI as well as a daytime running light upgrade. So we're going to be swapping the daytime running lights with a pair of LEDs. I think they're daytime running lights slash high beams. We're going to be swapping those for a pair of LEDs from Subaru LEDs. And we're also going to be swapping the fog lights for a pair of LED bulbs and the fog lights as well. Same bulbs that we used on the Forester XT. It's basically the exact same install. Pop the cover off, put the fog light bulbs in, hook them up to the factory harness. I'm assuming probably very similar for the daytime running lights and high beams. Haven't decided on the color for the daytime running lights slash high beams. The fogs, I'm pretty sure I'm going to run the most yellow one just because it's cool. So, you know, just a little bit different, not running the exact same thing that the Forester setup is. So, I don't know, I'm gonna try it out. Like I said, it's got film, so if I don't like it, I can take it off. Yeah, stay tuned. We're gonna check out what's in the package, then we'll check out kind of what it looks like now and swap in bulbs and then go for a drive and see how the light output has changed. Make sense? All right, let's do it. All right, so just so you know, this is two separate items. Fog lights, daytime running lights slash high beams are the same bulb. So fog lights are the exact same setup that we did on the Forester XT, so I won't show you these. If you want to see kind of more in depth on those, check out the XT video. But the high beam stuff is, all these kits are basically identical. The kits come with film, so these are, so you can change, you can pick your color temperature. You can pick blue all the way down to yellow. The bulbs themselves obviously are gonna adjust basically what the bulb assembly itself is basically the same. This like heat sink and everything is the same. It's how it fits into the socket it's gonna change. So this is a 9005 bulb. It looks a little bit different around the base than the H11 style bulb, and then the socket may change as well depending on the car you're running. So yeah, so basically a pair of bulbs in each box, horribly written directions, and some film. This film basically goes around the canister here and allows you to pick the color output, the color temperature of the bulbs. So let's start with actually let's start with the fogs, because I know for sure I'm going to put this most yellow film on, and we'll try those out. Should be very simple, and then we'll move to these guys. Sound good? Let's take a look first though and see kind of like what we're working with stock. All right, so cool. You remember we cleaned up the back with some nice white LEDs. The front, these are the stock high beams and C lights that come on the STI, and I think also the limited, or whatever the top end WRX is. You can see the standard fog bulbs, very yellow, very not pretty, not cool. Much the same as the STI or the XT setup. So we're gonna be replacing the fog bulbs with LEDs, but we're going more yellow. So that sounds maybe backwards to some people, but if you get that kind of intentional pure yellow Euro look, it looks cooler than just kind of the standard halogen-y color. Or your option is to leave the film off or pick kind of a bluer film to match the white, pure whiteness of these headlights. Okay, so here's a look at the stock daytime running light slash high beams. You can see obviously much more yellow than the lights next to it. I turned the high beams on because a lot of you, I don't know if you know or not, but when you pull the e-brake on a WRX or STI, I think probably most Subarus, you pull the e-brake, it turns off the daytime running lights. So instead of having to chalk the wheels and stuff, I'll just use the high beams as the example. But yeah, it's obviously yellow. I want to say I'm probably going to not go yellow with these. I'll probably go just kind of the pure white. During the daytime, it's going to be very white. I would kind of like the yellow during the daytime, but I think at night, having the pure white to light up the back roads is probably going to be more beneficial than the yellow. But I don't know. I might try one and see how it looks and see how the light output is. I don't know. The good thing is you can, like I said, you can swap the film and decide what you like at your own pace. Okay, let's see how the fog lights look first, and then we'll swap the high beams. Okay, so I wish these things were marked somehow, like on the side, because I messed up last time and did the wrong film. But this is obviously darker than this, but this looks more yellow, this looks more orange. I'm assuming that this, because of the high intensity of the light, will turn out to be actually more yellow than this because of the darker color. So we're going to start with these and see how these look. If I hate them, then I may go back and put this film on. Like I said, they give you 4 film pieces per kit, so you have the opportunity to actually mess this up once or twice and still have enough film. So we're going to take this, make sure there's no dust or anything on the bulb surface, peel off a piece of film. Alright, and then it's pretty simple. The film just fits on here. It's on there like that. Goes on nice and easy, no bubbles. And you got a tinted up fog light. Okay, for the fog lights, basically the same install as before, but for the people who didn't watch the Forester video because they're not Forester people, I'm gonna show you what's up. Front of the car, obviously, fog light. If we go under the car, you'll see a couple clips here to get access to this panel. This panel will pop out of the way as long as you remove a couple clips and give you direct access to the bulb. Even on a car with a lip, don't need to jack it up, don't need to do anything. 2 clips, access to grab the bulb. This is the stock bulb. Basically, you're just gonna twist it, pull it out, put the new one in, twist it back in, connect it back up. Pretty easy. For the DRL / high beam, you're gonna get to it from the engine bay, so you gotta pop the hood here. Hood popped. Behind your whatever this is, washer fluid, you'll see a bulb here. Turn it. Should pop out. So remove the wiring harness first, then pull the bulb out. Otherwise, you got to take this thing off to give yourself some more room. On this side, there's a airbox. Part of the airbox is here. If you have skinny hands, you can probably get down there and get it. I'm gonna try that. I don't have super skinny hands, but I don't feel like taking this off. If I can't, then you have to pull this thing off. It's just a couple pop clips and then it pops out of the way. All right, I found my first thing I'm not like super over the moon about. I don't think it's that big a deal, but you check out the pins on these. Pins, this is a 9005 bulb, this is a 9005 replacement LED. The pins are clearly not quite as thick, both this way as well as depth. Let's see if we can get a better shot of that. So it's fine, it fits in the bulb, it definitely secures it in there. There's a little bit of slop when you have the bulb basically pushed in and turned. There's like a little bit of wiggle. I don't think it's a huge deal, but the fitment of this could be a little bit nicer, I think. The proof is really though in the longevity and like if I hear any rattling or anything weird though. So I'll let you know. Dudes, oh my God, that thing is yellow. That's exactly the look I was going for though. That was the darker of the 2 yellow films. And look at that. Holy crap, that thing is yellow. Looks great. It's kind of almost a neonish yellow. Some people aren't into that. Maybe you could try the lighter yellow film, but I think I'm gonna stick with that. I think that looks awesome. All right, now we're looking at the DRL difference / high beam difference. You can see definitely matches the color a lot better. It's definitely brighter when you get in the meat of it. Still looks a tiny bit bluer actually than the light, so the light must be like a little bit higher or a lower color temperature than the factory light must be a little bit lower color temperature than the 6500K or whatever it is without film, but definitely still cleaner look. I can't do lights off, high beams on without turning the car on / chalking the wheel. So that'll be your look at that, but let's go ahead and finish it up. We'll take a look kind of what it looks like completed, and then we'll go back out for another test drive. You'll see both test drives back to back, but I have to do them at 2 different points in time. Let's finish up the install. Okay, install is done. I am loving the fogs, the yellow fog for whatever reason. I think it just looks really, really cool. I love the contrast between the super bright yellow and the bluish white of the LED headlights. I think that looks awesome. I'm really curious to see what it looks like on the road, if it really like makes the road super yellow. I'm one of those people who drive with the fog light. If my headlights are on, the fog lights are on. So I don't know. I don't want it to screw up my nice clean white beam pattern from the LEDs. So we will see in a second. But let's go ahead and take a look at the high beams, because they are also done now, and then we'll take it for a drive. High beams as well, look great. Definitely a tiny bit whiter actually than the running lights and everything, but I don't think that's going to be a big deal because it's you won't see them together basically ever. At night, I guess, if I have my high beams on, you shouldn't theoretically see them because I won't have my high beams on if you're driving at me. But during the day, it should look good. It should be like a nice clear white light instead of the kind of nasty halogen version that we had before. All right, cool. Let's go ahead and go for a drive and see how it looks. Once again, it's you guys right there, right there. Alrighty friends, this might look familiar if you watched the XT video. This is the same exact path that we took last time. The GoPro is mounted to the hood of my car, and I've run a microphone inside to me. That's why if you feel like you're riding on the front of the sleigh, that's why. So right now we are driving with the stock WRX LED headlights. No fog lights are currently on. We're going to test the fog lights and the high beams because we're going to be replacing both. So this is basically stock headlights, no fog lights. We're going to turn the fog lights on now. As you can see, same sort of result as the Forester XT. A little bit of yellow light kind of down near the bottom. Honestly, from the driver's seat, it doesn't really make a huge difference. I can see a little bit of change, like I said before, on the side, kind of the wings of the road here. But I don't really notice a huge difference from the driver's seat. It probably looks bigger because you guys are sitting right on the front of the hood. There's really not a whole lot of change. Let's test out the high beams. High beams I've never actually hated. They're actually pretty good. They're pretty bright. The LEDs are going to have to be just as bright for me to want to keep them. I do drive on a lot of roads, kind of like this one, where it's definitely dark and hard to see. So high beams off, high beams on, high beams off, high beams on. Cool, right? Fog lights, same idea. Off, on, off. Good times, right? Some dude coming at me with his high beams on. Okay, friends, one more time down the same path. Once again, stock headlights at the moment. No fog lights yet. I haven't even turned them on yet out here on the road. So we're going to try the fog lights. They're now the Subi LED in the lowest color temp, so it's like the super yellow ones. And then we're also going to try the new high beams, which are also LED in just the standard no film color. So I think it's like 6,500 for that. I think the lowest one's like 4,300K if you're into that weird Kelvin stuff. Okay, so there's a guy here. As soon as we pass him, we're gonna go ahead and try these out. Okay, here goes the fog lights. Holy crap, they're definitely yellow. It definitely changes the kind of beam pattern. I'm used to it being super white. Now it seems a little bit of a yellow hue to it, but it's not horrible. It's not as like, I don't know, alien as I was expecting it to look. I think I could get used to it pretty easy.
It definitely helps on the side, which is great. The side in the like kind of ditch area where you might see a, I don't know, a deer or something coming out here. So off, on, off, on. Looks great. Yeah, it definitely helps. It definitely brightens up the main beam pattern plus down where the fogs usually will, and I think it's got a wider spread than the average fog bulb. So let's go ahead and try the high beams. High beams are pretty good. I don't know if, I don't know, the high beams are like a weird whitish color. I'm used to the yellowish that they were before. So let me turn around down here and we'll try it again. Okay, for the high beam test, I'm gonna turn off the new LED fogs just so we just get a pure high beam to low beam look here. And I also want to get kind of back towards the straighter part of this road. I wasn't initially super impressed with like extra light output. I don't know how these bulbs rate. Of course, now there's like 100 cars on this back road and we're trying to do this test, but I don't know how these bulbs rate compared to the standard high beams. The fogs are definitely brighter. They're definitely bright. I don't know if their beam is thrown quite as far as the other fogs. They kind of bright everywhere. The other high beams are kind of like bright way out there, if that makes sense. Yeah, I don't know. They look good. They're brighter everywhere, but I don't know if they penetrate as far, if that makes sense. I don't know if they penetrate quite as far as like further in front of me as the standard halogen bulbs.
All right, friends, so that's the install. I want to again say a huge thanks to Subi LED for setting me up with these parts to try out and see how I feel about them. As I was with the Forester LED install, the fog lights I'm like 150% happy with. They look amazing. I love the color. I love the brightness. The fit and finish is great. The way they twist into those sockets and like feel really snug. Love all that. These are all fanless bulbs, so they don't have little fans on the back or anything. They just fit in. The back of them, I think, operates kind of like a heat sink would on a computer processor or whatever. Pulls the heat off the bulb, keeps the bulb nice and cool, hopefully, and therefore reliable. The key is that, are they reliable, right? They look amazing, they fit amazing, but can they last? The Forester XT gets used, the fog lights get used a little bit less than I would say the STI does. I'm one of those people that when the when the headlights are on, the fog lights are on, I just leave the fog light in the on switch all the time. I don't even think about it. Turn the headlights on, fog lights are on. So they're going to be running constantly when basically at night. We're going into winter, lights are going to be on all the time. So it'll be interesting to see. I'll definitely keep you posted to see if they hold up. I'm really hoping that they will. Keeping all the stock bulbs for sure. LEDs have come a long way. The heat processing, the heat, whatever they call it, heat removal, reduction, I'm assuming has come a long way too, so the LEDs can last. In theory, LEDs should last for a long time compared to a regular halogen bulb, but the past few years there's been kind of reliability issues. Something that I loved about the Subi LED stuff, and maybe it's true with other brands as well, but the Subi LED bulbs, every single one, first time I put it in there and plugged it in, it worked. I didn't have to argue with it. It made the install super nice. I just put it in, plugged it in, worked great. The film putting on and off was amazing. Great, really cool that you can do that and pick your color temperature. And they give you extras, so if you decide next week you don't want to be yellow anymore, you can go to the stock color and then put the yellow back on if you want. That being said, the high beams, I'm on the fence about. I didn't love the way that they fit into the lens itself. They were a tiny bit sloppy, not horrible enough for me to want to remove them, but a tiny bit sloppy. And then, like I mentioned with the bulb, it just didn't seem, it seemed bright, like it was lighting up everything around me very well. but it didn't seem like it like cut through the distance as well. It didn't seem like I got the same amount of throw towards the horizon. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I'm gonna run with them for a while, see how they look in the daytime, see how they look as daytime running lights, all that stuff before I decide, you know, I'm gonna put the stock ones back in or not. But for now, I'm gonna keep them, kind of use them, see how I like them, see how they feel. And yeah, I mean, let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you have any questions. More LED stuff is coming because we have interior LEDs and stuff to do. I don't know if I have anything much else to add. Definitely check out SubiLED.com if you're interested in this stuff. I think all these kits are around 70 bucks, 75 bucks maybe. And they look great. The fit is pretty good. Definitely for the fogs. Fogs, super recommend the headlight or the high beam stuff. If you don't use your high beams enough and you care more about the daytime running lights, I think it would be awesome because you get that cool Euro clean white look. Anyway. That's all I got. I really appreciate you guys watching. Stay tuned for more cool stuff for all three cars, really. And I'll see you next time. Please subscribe, like the video if you liked it. And like I said, see you next time. Bye-bye!